Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, first of all, can I just say thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. My goal for the end of the year is 100 and I am at 61 subscribers and I'm just very thankful for that. In today's video, I'm going to discuss some really good books that I've read lately. All of these are 4 or 5 stars and yeah, let's just get on with the video. The first book I want to talk about is Diary of a Bookseller by Sean Byfell. I may be butchering his last name and I apologise in advance. Now, this book is general fiction / non-fiction. I really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it at first. Basically, it revolves around Sean, who is a bookshop owner in Wigtown. Wigtown? Yes, Wigtown, in Scotland. They're like really known for their books. I think they're on like the border maybe, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that because I'm rubbish at geography. But let me read the back of the book and then I'll explain why I really enjoyed this. Tuesday the 24th of April, an elderly customer told me that her book club's next book was Dracula, but she couldn't remember what he'd written. Meet Sean Byfell, bookshop owner, bibliophile, and misanthrope extraordinaire. He lives and works in the bookshop, Wigtown, whose crooked shelves contain anything from a 16th century Bible to a first edition Agatha Christie. A book lover's paradise. Well, almost. In Sean's honest and wily hilarious diaries, he reveals the highs and lows of life in the book trade as he contends with eccentric customers, bin foraging employees, and a perennially empty till. Along the way, he'll take you on buying trips to old estates and auction houses, recommend lost classics, and introduce you to the thrill of the unexpected find. Reading this book, actually, first split second made me want to run my own bookshop before I realised how much stress it would be. I absolutely loved the camaraderie of reading a book that featured the bookish community. You had the eccentrics, you had the people that love books, you had the people that are reading them for school or education, or the really random customers that Sean experiences on a daily basis. I do have to say, it's really interesting to read this book and think, oh my god, these characters are actually real. One of the characters who is mentioned in the blurb is a bin foraging employee called Nikki. I absolutely adored Nikki's character. I think she was hilarious. And I say character, but she's a person, I believe. So it feels a bit weird, but I'm going to call them characters because I don't know what else to say. But Sean's expose, I want to say, on running a book business in like the 2010s is really insightful, and you can see the way that at the time the book kind of situation was going and his struggles with running a bookshop when there's people like big corporations like Amazon, and Kindle was first out, and if you're a Kindle reader I recommend taking this book with a pinch of salt because he does destroy a Kindle and displays it in the shop on a shelf for everyone to see. So apologies for recommending this book to e-readers because it's probably not for you, because he as a bookshop owner, he's very not impressed with the fact that e-reading is becoming a thing because it means less money in his till. But some of the ways he gets books and just the economy of running a bookshop is really fascinating. So if you're a bookworm like me, I think you'll really enjoy it, because often we go into these bookshops and we don't really realise what behind the scenes is like, and this gives you a really good look. There is another 2 books. I am wanting to read them at some point because I really want to continue and see what happens and stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that gets mentioned. And I definitely feel like it's probably continued on in the later diaries. What I love about this book as well is it is set in diary format. So if you're like a fan of books like that, you'll definitely enjoy this, because I found it really easy to keep track of where I was as well. It wasn't, each month was a chapter, but you could also stop at like a certain day and be like, right, okay, I know where I am because I'm on that day in the book. It was just really easy and enjoyable. There was a few times where definitely reading it, I don't know if it was because I was physically not 100% and I was a bit tired and my brain was kind of just like feeling like it was a bit of a slog through. But for the most part, I gave this 4 stars because I just enjoyed the background info into what running a bookshop was like. And as a bookworm, I feel like we can all appreciate how a book club running a bookshop is like the best and worst job ever. So yeah, this is Diary of a Bookseller by Sean Byfell. This next book that I have been slightly obsessed with, I read it in a day, is Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch by Cody Crowley. Now this is my advanced reader's copy because I can't remember off the top of my head when it's released. I think it's actually been this August, but I could be wrong. I will insert the date of release somewhere on the screen at some point while I talk about this video, so that you're all aware when it gets released. But I read this book in collaboration with Love Book Tours on Instagram, and when I say that this book is like it's a brand new YA thriller that is fast paced, quick witted, funny, probably offensive to some people. It's great. I love it. I'll just read the blurb and then I'll tell you more why I love it. They think they killed a girl, they only made a monster. Annie Lane was murdered, but that won't slow her down. The mountain her body was dumped on is legendary for raising the dead. So after waking up in the same frigid water that hides her corpse, Annie surges into her backwoods hometown, hell-bent on revenge. The problem is, Annie can't remember who killed her, and the list of people who might have wanted to isn't exactly short. There's her toxic mum, who spends her rare sober moments ripping Annie a new one. There's her boss at the time. There's a boss at the diner who's always been a little too friendly. And there's her cheating ex and his creepy bandmates, who are just shit-brained enough to think they could get away with it. All she has to go on are tequila-fogged memories and a blood-stained leather jacket. But Annie won't stop until she gets what she came for. Someone knows the truth. Someone is to blame. Someone has to pay for what happened to Annie Lane. Furious, fast-paced, and darkly funny, Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch is at once a propulsive mystery and an exhilarating love story to anyone who's ever been told to be a good girl or else. I absolutely love this book. The storyline was so captivating. It was fast-paced till the end. And it's also my first time reading an arc for a very big publishing company, because this book has been published by Disney, or will be published by Disney Hyperion, and I have read many books from that publishing house, mainly Rick Riordan, because I love the guy and I love his books. I'm trying to get this book so I can show you it stood up again, but I seem to be decimating the dust jacket, so bear with me. But I think the characters that Cody Crowley writes are absolutely amazing, and I wish I knew if this book was going to be part of a series or not, because there is so many of the side characters I would love to get to know more. As you read the book, you meet them and you think, oh, that person's interesting. Oh, that person clearly has some dark history or background. And I gave this a 4.5 read because I did actually enjoy it. It's perfect YA thriller for around Christmas, around Halloween and October. It's spooky, it's autumnal, it's just absolutely lovely. I just wish the side characters had a bit more depth about them and it wasn't all focused on Annie all the time. As much as I love Annie, she's a badass bitch. And she wants revenge, and it really showcases the power of what people will go through to find out the answers, and it does make you think about like the afterlife and what if this is actually something that happens, because we don't know. But it was just really thought-provoking, fast-paced, nitty-gritty, a bit gory at times, so be warned. But overall, such a fab book to take and read in the autumn/Halloween month. So this was Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch by Cody Crowley, and I gave it 4.5 stars. This next book is a really recent read because I read it as a buddy read with two people on Instagram, and this is Girl Goddess Queen by B. Fitzgerald. When I tell you I started this book and devoured it, I know I say that about a lot of books, but this is a chunky book. This is a decent book, and I did indeed devour it. And it wasn't so much of a buddy read as we have a group chat where we were messaging, and I was like, "Oh, it's really good. Oh, I finished it." Which probably isn't a good recommendation for people to buddy read with me in the future, but you know, at least I read the book and I enjoy it. So this is Girl Goddess Queen by B. Fitzgerald, and it says, thousands of years ago, the gods told a lie. Persephone wasn't taken to hell. She jumped. There was no way she was going to be quietly married off to some smug god. Now she's taking matters into her own hands, with plans that will shake Mount Olympus to its core. I love the discover of this. It has been beaten up by me a little bit, but can you blame me? I when I say I devoured this book, I did indeed devour it, and I wasn't too fussed about the discover when I was reading it. But I absolutely love this book. It's one of the better versions of a Persephone and Hades story that I've read. I love all the versions of Hades and Persephone I read, like Scarlett St. Clair and Kate Roberts, and now B. Fitzgerald. I will say my favourite version of Persephone, but not my favourite version of Hades. I like Hades to have a bit more grit about him, and in this one he was a bit softer than I imagined, but it also really, at the same time, it also complemented well with how fierce and fiery Persephone was. And on that note, I do like this Persephone because she has grit, she wants power, she doesn't shy away from it like some of the other Persephones I've read. And that's not shaming anything. I would have liked Hades to have a bit more fight about him, because Persephone was such a strong character in this book, and I feel like it's supposed to be Hades and Persephone. But Hades kind of got overshadowed a lot of times. But I did like all the other side characters. I found the interpretation of the whole story really, really interesting. It's definitely more modernised than what other versions I've read, and a lot of it was very like girl power, emotional, pulling on strings, like fighting, like Persephone fighting her parents and like being like, I do not want to get married.
Funky and similar songs on Amazon Music.
I am so sorry, this video's probably being a mess right now because technology doesn't like me and my communicative devices throughout the room are trying to give me a heart attack and kill me. So we'll continue from wherever I left off then. I can't remember what I was saying because they've just started playing random music, Jesus Christ. It's a really good book, and I would highly recommend. I have the End Crowns All by B. Fitzgerald to read next, and I'm really looking forward to that because I think it's LGBTQ plus representation. It's Helen of Troy, which is interesting because I haven't actually read much about her story, so it'll be interesting to read a modern version of it. But back to this one, absolutely loved it. The romance throughout was perfect. It was a definite slow burn at times, but the girl power, the woman power, the Persephone, queen of the underworld, just gorgeous and beautifully put in this book. So this was a 5-star read for me. The last book that I'm going to talk about was another recent 4-star read for me. It's The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I love Erin Morgenstern. I loved reading The Night Circus. And this had a lot of similar elements. The story was so complicated, so beautiful. I loved the way all the chapters were set out and you got to know bits and pieces before the main character did. The thing that I would say that only made this a 4-star read for me is the fact that sometimes it was just too complicated. But I realised I haven't read the blurb, so I will read the blurb and then I'll keep talking about the book. And I've also remembered that I've got to open this book because the blurb is inside. So bear with me. Are you lost or are you exploring? When Zachary Rawlins stumbles across a strange book hidden in his university library, it leads him on a quest unlike any other. Its pages entrance him with the tales of lovelorn prisoners, lost cities, and nameless acolytes. But they also contain something impossible, a recollection from his own childhood. Determined to solve the puzzle of the book, Zachary follows the clues he finds on the cover: a bee, a key, and a sword. They guide him to a masquerade ball, to a dangerous secret club, and finally through a magical doorway created by the fierce and mysterious Mirabelle. This door leads to a subterranean labyrinth filled with stories hidden far beneath the surface of the earth. When the labyrinth is threatened, Zachary must race with Maribel and Dorian, a handsome barefoot man with shifting alliances, through its twisting tunnels and crowded ballrooms, searching for the end of his story. You are invited to join Zachary on the Starless Sea, the home of storytellers, story lovers, and those who will protect our stories at all cost. This book definitely pulled at my heartstrings as a book-obsessed person and book lover. I feel like it's definitely a story to bookworms everywhere. And if you like complex storylines with a lot of characters, a lot of different history, a beautiful cover, then this book is right up anyone's alley, I believe. Like I said, the only thing I struggled with was the ever-switching storyline. It was just like, ooh, up and down, and you like, just get your head around one thing and then it completely changes again. But I found the characters to have a lot of depth about them. The history throughout the whole journey of the book is just immense, and you can tell a lot of love and thought and time has gone into writing this beautiful story that I think encapsulates everyone's feelings when they read a book, let alone when they find a secret world that's just full of stories waiting to be told. So this is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I hope you have all enjoyed this video and some of my recent top reads. Oh, there was only one that I think was 5 stars, which is Girl, Goddess, Queen. But to me, a top read isn't always something that's 5 stars. If I enjoyed it and it stays with me, it's automatically a top read. Because even some 5-star reads I've read sometimes don't always stay with me. So I think top reads is always in the eye of the beholder. I hope this video wasn't too chaotic. I am thinking of butchering every device I've got in my room. Mainly for the fact that it starts playing stuff randomly. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment down below any video ideas, because as it gets colder I will be definitely filming more content. So any video ideas or top 5, top 10, whatever stuff you want me to talk about that's book related, I am happy to do so. So leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share my channel and my videos around, because I'm so close to 100. Well, it feels like I'm so close to 100 subscribers, and I'd love to get to it by the end of 2024. With all that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.